to see both of you. So, Sandra, one of the things here, look, our economy is hitting on all cylinders. Big numbers today. Actually, the run rate for Trump's first 3 quarters, if I use the Atlanta Fed, is about 4.5% at an annual rate, which is quite remarkable. I think you could do 5, 6, or 7% next year. But why don't the Europeans listen to him on the economy? It's bad enough on security. He wants to save them from themselves. They should be writing down all of his policies on yellow legal pads and then going home and implementing them. You know what their main policy is? Attacking American companies. That's all they ever do.
The NATO chief would agree with you. Ruta, he gave President Trump a lot of credit for Europe even being where it is today. Without President Trump, Europe would be a lot worse off, was the case he was making in his discussions with President Trump yesterday. I don't know. Where's the headlines today? American stock market boom.
Where's the capital flight today? Oh, wait, it all came back.
It's incredible. One day there was a sell-off, and it was the headlines. It's the Sell America trade. I have Robert Wolf on my show saying this is what everybody's talking about. One day does not make a trend. The American stock market right back up near record highs today. I have this list, I told you, of the brain room. Every single day we print this out. You've got the stock market up 15% since Trump took office. You've got gas prices now down 9%. You've got crude oil prices down 23%. Where's the acknowledgement that these were a lot of the promises made and these are a lot of the promises kept? I will say one area where there's still a lot of kitchen table discussion and concern and frustration is getting those food prices down. President Trump says he's on it, but there's still some room for improvement there. And it does look like the housing market, thanks to a drop in interest rates, is starting to move. If you can see those things happen, it's undeniable that there's an economic boom happening in this country.
You know, Steve Moore, there's so much pessimism about inflation from, it's really Trump critics, okay? I'm just going to say, for what it's worth, even though everyone likes to quote the 12-month change because it looks sloppy, the 3-month change has come down very significantly. The Fed's favorite measure, the PCE deflator, personal consumption deflator, the core, is 2.3% at an annual rate, okay? September, October, and November. And we have not had the bulk of the energy price decline, which will permeate the entire economy. I mean, I don't know why people don't want to do that. People at the Fed look at 3-month changes. You and I look at 3-month changes. Nobody else seems to want to look at it. They should. We are improving. And Trump is right, Steve. Growth cannot cause inflation. Producing more cannot cause inflation. He said that several times at Davos. He's dead in the water right. Reagan said that 45 years ago. They're both right.
He also borrowed from the book that Arthur Laffer and I wrote, calling it the Trump Economic Miracle, and there's a great book on that theme.
Yes.
So I want to go back to a point, if I may, that you made at the outset, which is, Reagan and the Reagan boom, and comparing Reagan and Trump. And Reagan used to say the best role of America in the world is to lead by example, right? Lead by example. And that's exactly what Trump said at Davos. Follow us. We're the fastest growing economy in the world. Every country is envious of us. The Europeans are, the UK is, Japan is, Korea is, and China is, and they're trying to figure out how did we do it. And Trump was very clear on this. I cut taxes. I reduced regulation. I promoted our domestic energy sources. That has been, as you've said many times, lower energy prices, Larry, are a tax cut for American consumers and businesses. It's a very pretty picture. It's a beautiful picture. The only thing I might quibble a little bit is, I don't know, is it Reagan or Calvin Coolidge who was the greatest president in the 20th century?
Yes, well, we'll have that. We'll have that debate at another time. But I think it's important to compare the two guys. Sandra, I want to raise another point away from this JPMorgan debanking lawsuit. I don't know. I don't know if you had a chance to cover it or not. We have a quote from it's a $5 billion lawsuit, and it goes back to 2021. We have it up on the full screen if we can put it up there. It's kind of hard to read, but anyway. We do. JPMorgan, I have spoken, I know we'll have to lean into it. I have spoken to their people, okay? I want to be fair. We've spoken to Jamie Dimon. We had a dinner with him one night. The implication from that group is that they were forced to debank Trump. Okay. They don't really deny it, okay? They're just saying they want regulatory and legal policies that are equal and not biased, all right? So they don't exactly say we didn't. They don't exactly say we did. and the inference was that the Bidens forced them to debank Trump. Now, I don't know that that's true, by the way. I'm just saying that's something that some of us took away from a dinner with Mr. Diamond one evening. What's your thinking about that? You cover the beat sometimes.
I think it's fair if the president has any concerns or his team has seen anything that would lead them to indicate that even possibly this happened as they were targeted from the Bidens, by the Bidens. I think it's worth investigating. JPMorgan would have to answer to this. They have a fiduciary duty to their shareholders to get to the bottom of something so politically oriented that would affect the business that they're doing at the company. So I think if there's enough behind this to investigate, then perhaps President Trump and his team have room to dig further.
Fair is fair. I'll read it here. Finally, we got it up. We do close accounts because they create legal or regulatory risk for the company. We regret having to do so, but often rules and regulatory expectations lead us to do so. Steve Moore, you have a thought on that? I think I'm representing the thrust of it fairly. I don't have an axe to grind against Jamie Dimon. I've known him a long time. I have a lot of respect for him. But, I mean, Trump's got a tough lawsuit, $5 billion, and I'm not hearing JPMorgan deny it.
There were a lot of conservatives, including the guy who was the former president at the time, who were debanked. And it was a nasty time for banks. I think that they did have a bit of a gun at their head, a regulatory gun at their head, Larry. And people were terrified of the Biden regulators. What's cool about what's going on right now is, you know, let's take Davos. You know what topic is not being discussed at all at Davos? Climate change. It's all they talked about for the last 5 years is climate change. What are we talking about now? Growth, creating more jobs, prosperity for everyone. So the world has changed in a big way, Larry.
All right. Well, I hope so. I sincerely hope so. Steve Moore.